And on the issue of provincial government, talking with the government, the Premier today put out a statement saying that it's unfortunate that you did not invite her to sit down and talk today. You're in Edmonton. She's here. So why didn't you sit down and invite her to talk?
I am always happy to meet with any Premier whenever they ask me to meet.
So she should have asked for a meeting then.
Next question. Prochaine question. Camille Povarel de Radio-Canada.
Next question. You see how quick they tried to shove him away?
But why do you think the online harms bill is necessary, and why can't people be allowed to say what they want online?
First of all,
thank you. Good question.
We know, and everyone can agree, that kids are vulnerable online to hatred, to violence, to being bullied, to seeing and being affected by terrible things online. We need to do a better job as a society of protecting our kids online the way we protect them in schoolyards, in our communities, in our homes across the country. We need to make sure, and I think we can all agree, we need to protect our kids online. Now, how to go about do that is a very careful balance. We need to make sure we're protecting freedom of expression. We need to make sure we're protecting the freedoms and the rights of Canadians while we protect kids. That's why we've spent years
this is about kids,
working
sure,
with
buddy.
different community groups, with advocates, with minority communities,
Nobody
with
believes
experts, with people in all sorts of different backgrounds to make sure that what we're doing is actually protecting kids. And I look forward to putting forward that online harms bill, which people will see is very, very specifically focused on protecting kids and not on censoring the internet as misinformation and as the right wing tends to try and characterize it as. I think everyone, wherever they are on the political spectrum, can agree that protecting kids is something governments should be focused on doing.
The Conservative leader says your bill on hate is about banning speech you hate, and he also called you someone with a woke authoritarian agenda who spent the first half of his adult life as a practicing racist. What's your response to that?
My response to the substantive part of that question is Mr. Poilievre hasn't even seen the legislation we're about to put forward next week.
He's mad. He's fired up about that.
Exactly
He's mad.
what it is and what it isn't. I think responsible leadership is about dealing in facts, actually reading a piece of legislation before he starts telling people what he thinks it does, and then having a rigorous debate in Parliament about how to best protect kids. He's not interested in that. He's interested in hurling insults, in distracting from the fact that he has no plan on housing. He has no plan on childcare. He has no plan on fighting climate change and creating good jobs for the future. He has no plan in terms of building and protecting the kinds of jobs here in Alberta or across the country that people are going to rely on in a transforming world. What does he have a plan for? He has a plan for stoking division, creating fear, throwing out personal insults. That's not leadership. Canadians deserve a government that is focused every day on building a better future for them. That's what I'm doing here today. He can throw whatever insults he likes. I look forward to having substantive debates on how we're going to fix the challenges Canadians are facing, because we're busy doing that while he's busy ranting.
And just to a provincial issue here, you commented a while ago about sort of the new trans policies the provincial government has brought in. Not very happy about them. But wondering if you have any sort of specific issues and whether there are any sort of interventions, again, on that front that federal government might be able to do, maybe in the vein of health transfers, that kind of stuff.
I think everyone well knows my stance on standing up for minorities and being there for the LGBT community. The question I think people should be asking is, why has the right suddenly decided to attack the LGBT community? Danielle Smith just brought forward some of the most difficult policies against vulnerable youth that the country has ever seen. And I heard Mr. Poilievre went off against the LGBT community again this morning. And one might wonder why this is the theme that right-wing politicians are trying to stir up as much as possible. For me, it's fairly obvious that They don't want to be talking about housing. They don't want to be talking about bringing in more competition in the grocery sector as we are as a government. They don't want to be talking about how Alberta continues to sit on hundreds of millions of dollars that the federal government has sent Alberta for childcare, while childcare providers are having to do rolling strikes and not able to deliver the childcare that parents are counting on. That's a decision, an ideological decision by the government of Alberta to not honor the billions of dollars worth of childcare agreements that we signed with the previous Alberta government a few years ago. These are initiatives that are saving thousands of dollars a month for Alberta families that the government doesn't want to talk about, doesn't want to address. They're picking wedge issues designed to suscitate anger and frustration and alarm on either sides of issues, because that's what they want us talking about. Well, I'm here today to invest in housing because that's going to make the lives of Albertans better. I'm going to continue to fight for more competition in the grocery sector so that grocery prices can come down. We're going to be there to deliver dental care for seniors, even though the Conservatives in Ottawa voted against it. We're going to be there to support kids with childcare, to support them with a Canada Child Benefit. We're going to be there to continue to fight climate change in a way that puts more money in people's pockets every single year. $1,800 is a family of four in Alberta receiving with the Canada Carbon Rebate. $2,100 if you're in a rural area, which is most of Alberta.
Jesus, man, with the fucking hands.
This is more money than the carbon price actually costs that average family for 8 out of 10 families across the country in backstop provinces. These are the things that we are focusing on, the things we are fighting for every day. So let far-right politicians pick fights with trans kids. Shame on them. And of course, as a government, we're going to be there to protect our most vulnerable. But let's not allow them to successfully deflect from the fact that they have no plans to deal with the real issues facing Canadians right now.